Okay, so this is a piecewise function, and the instructions to evaluate a piecewise function, once I write down the slide, you're gonna see they seem a little complicated, but really it's a simple procedure. It's the steps, they seem complicated, but once I show you how to do the evaluation, then you'll think this is a simple exercise. So step number one is you guys need to split the number line into as many intervals so into the same number of intervals as the number of equations that are in the definition of the piecewise function. So for this exercise 4, you can see that we have 3 equations, so we need 3 intervals. And then step number 2, when they ask you to evaluate a number in the piecewise function, what we do is first we locate the number a in the corresponding interval. So in the corresponding interval from your first step, so from step 1, and we need to evaluate using the equation that corresponds to this interval. So I didn't have any space to write the rest of it, but you'll see that when I give you guys the steps doing this, it's a simple evaluation. So let's start by splitting the number line into, in this case, you can see we have 3 equations here in the definition for the piecewise function. So we're going to have 3 intervals, and so we do the splitting by using these endpoints. So you look at this number 2, and so we find the number 2 in the number line. You can also see this number 9, so the second splitting is at the number 9. Okay, and then the idea is here in the definition for the piecewise function, when you're looking at these inequalities, I mean, they actually become intervals. So the first inequality, x less than or equals to 2, becomes this interval. Okay, square bracket here, it includes the number 2, and the piecewise function f of x behaves the same as 5 minus 4x. Okay, so for any number which is less than or equals to 2, we plug in our number into this equation. For numbers that are between 2 and 9, okay, so for numbers x bigger than 2 and less than 9, then we have to plug in the x number into the equation f of x equals 3x. And then last, for numbers bigger than 9, then we have to use this case square bracket will be this interval, and for these numbers then we have to use the last equation for x plus 2. Okay, So after we do the splitting, then we're ready to evaluate. So let's do part A. Notice for part A, the x value that we're plugging in is -3. So we find the -3 is in the first interval, and so we have to use first so the formula f of x equals 5 minus 4x. So we go and plug in -3. So using the first formula, we simplify and we find that f of -3 is 17. Okay, so it's all about finding where to plug in the x value. Okay, so for part B, we need to first locate 5. 5 is between 2 and 9, and so to evaluate this part B, to find this value, we plug in 5 in formula 3x. So we replace x with 5 and simplify. Okay, and then last, for f of 9, we see that 9 it's in this interval. See, this square bracket means that we can include 9 as part of the last interval. Okay, and so 9 is here, this endpoint is part of the last interval, and so we have to use the last formula. So we plug in 9 in the last equation. We simplify. Okay, and so we computed f of -3, f of 5, and f of 9. I hope you guys understood how to evaluate piecewise functions. If you have any questions, let me know through Canvas.